Hey everyone. So, I've never really made a video like this before, but today I want to talk a little bit about Genji and Overwatch and how to play this character. I just recently hit Masters 5, and I wanted to share some of my knowledge of how do I get to this point. How do you play this character in a way that lets you carry and do well and be a problem for the enemy team and ultimately win lots of games because winning is super fun. So I just want to talk about a few things that it took me a really long time to learn that fundamentally changed how I play this character. And the reason I want to make this video is I didn't really like a lot of the guides that I had seen about this character, and there are always these 10-minute guides on how to play the character, and almost all of them start out with, alright, you need to know this: right click, dash, right click, melee. And that's like a one hit combo. And so it's like, oh, you do it super fast, you're like, ba-boom, ba-boom. But the reality is, you're not going to be able to hit that reliably in every match, and that's not going to be what makes you win your games. What's going to cause you to win your games is if you're, as Genji, you're finishing a lot of kills, you're adding constant pressure to the enemy team, and you're distracting them from you're either distracting the supports from healing their tank, or you're distracting the tanks and DPS and baiting out cooldowns so that your team has a resource advantage. And that's just like a little bit of rambling, but this is just sort of my pet peeve. Every video I watch how to play Genji, like, alright, you gotta do this, you gotta do your right click, dash, right click, melee, and you do that super fast, you'll win every game, which is not true. In fact, if you're doing this every time you see someone, you're going to die a lot because you're going to be in their face and they're going to be shooting at you, and they might get healed, they might do damage to you, they might kill you. So there's much more important things about this character. And the first thing I want to talk about here is engagement. This is actually very related to that one-shot combo. And that is your dash and your deflect are your survivability tools. They're not really for doing damage. I mean, you do a lot of damage with your dash and your deflect, but they are designed to keep your character alive so that you can create a distraction. So if every single time you see a McCree, you dash up there and start right-clicking him, you're going to die. He's going to fan the hammer and nade you. You're going to be shooting him, and he's going to get healed by his Ana or his Life Weaver or whatever. And you're going to end up in his face. He's going to do 500 million damage to you, and you're going to die. And sometimes you'll kill him. Sometimes you'll kill him, and you'll deflect, and you'll one-shot him. But it's just not guaranteed that you're going to live. So a much better way to take an engagement, I'll put him right here, is you want to use your mobility to close the distance, and then once you're up close, then you try to hit your shots. And you can usually get a couple shots in before they even notice you, assuming that you took a good engagement. Perhaps you have high ground and you dropped on top of the McCree. So let's say you're high ground and you drop on top of this McCree, and now you've shot him twice. And at this point, he's looking at you, and now he's going to throw his grenade. So you can use deflect, and then dash to get away. And what you've done is you've made him use his nade, possibly, and done damage, and give yourself a chance to kill. How long is the cooldown for that? 12 seconds. So you traded your 8-second cooldowns for a 12-second cooldown, and now the McCree can't use his nade on your Winston, or your Doomfist, or whoever. All at, just for you to go in, do some damage, and then get away. So, while this is very challenging, I would encourage you Genji players to try to figure out how to move around the map so that you can close the distance without taking damage. And it could be, as simple as you're spamming down main, and that McCree's right there. You could just walk up to this corner and you surprise him around the corner, and then you deflect and then you get out. Other ways, you can drop on top from behind, shoot a couple right clicks, and depending on how it goes, then you can dash out. So, sorry, I'll pick these so that it stops doing that. Anyway, so that is to say, you use your cooldowns to disengage. So use your mobility to engage on the target, and use your cooldowns to get away from the target. Now, the amazing thing about Genji is he has dash reset. So what you can actually do is, let's say you get McCree to low HP, you can dash to get your kill and then dash to get out. And on top of that, you can actually protect yourself from getting healed if you dash to get away and dash through them at the same time. And so now I have my dash back up. So now I can go back and do uptime, I can get to safety. So same thing with your deflect. You want to stay in for as long as you time. As soon as you're pressing deflect, you should be trying to get away from whatever situation you're in. There's something very dangerous about playing as Genji, which is almost every character in this game is really strong up close. I mean, McCree can do 120 damage to me from this range, or Fan the Hammer, just destroy me. On a nade, you're gonna get hit by on a nade. Oh, this is a great character. This is a character that all Genji players want to dive. I mean, if you're right here next to Ana, she's gonna heal herself for 70 and do 70 unhealable damage to you, and you're not gonna be happy. So if you can just time it so that you're getting out, and then maybe you throw some shurikens on your way out. But yeah, the main point of that is try to use your mobility, your double jump, your wall climb to move around the map. Even you can use your deflect to maybe get here, and then just wait. You can wait 5 seconds. Your team can wait for you to wait 5 seconds, and then now I have a couple seconds left on my cooldown. I engage. I do this. Maybe I miss. If I whiff my shots, you can kind of protect against. Okay, what happens when you miss? So let's say I miss. Well, I'm just gonna dash and get out as soon as she turns to look at me, or throws a grenade or something. So this is something you're going to have to learn from a lot of experience, which is, how long can you stay in before you die? And as you get to that, what you want to do is you want to take up as much time and drain as many resources and cooldowns as you can before you disengage. And that part will come with experience. So, okay. The next thing I want to talk about is Dragon Blade. This is like the most fun ability ever made in a video game. But Dragon Blade is extraordinarily difficult to use. I mean, this is one of the... We could possibly say one of the worst ultimate abilities in the game. Not to say that Dragon Blade is bad. Dragon Blade is very good. I mean, you can get team kills. You can really easily win a 1v1 with an opponent. I mean, Dragon Blade is very good, but I mean, we've all seen those clips, and it's all happened to you, where you press Q and then you instantly die, or you do this and you get slept by Ana, and then their whole team jumps you. I mean, when you press Q, everyone is looking at you, so it's very dangerous. But what I want to talk about with Dragon Blade, there's two things. First of all, take your time. I think this is a little bit easier now that the one-shot doesn't exist anymore. I mean, back in Overwatch 1 and before Season 9, Nano Blade would let you one-shot with just slash dash. But that doesn't exist anymore. So now what you have to do is either do slash dash slash, or 2 slashes and then a dash. But what I want to talk about here, so in almost every single Genji clip ever, I'll just get these guys relatively low to prove my point. They're moving at lightning speed. They're doing like this, and then they teleport across the map, and they do all these instant dashes and ghost dash, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But if you want to actually win and get kills with your Dragon Blade and kill, more than 0 people, most of the time you're going to have to take your time. I mean, those people, they're either clip farming or they've just been doing it forever and actually can go that fast. But you really should take your time and hit confirm and look at them and say, can I actually dash to this person? The worst thing about Dragon Blade is when you use your dash and you're far away from everyone and they're running away from you, and all of a sudden you can't get a kill with Dragon Blade. So what you need to do when you use this ability is take your time. And trust me, this is very hard to do. I have probably spent so much time in the Dragon Blade form from playing this game over the years that I have a lot of mental clarity when I'm doing it. But for the longest time, whenever I pressed Q, it was just an adrenaline rush, and I couldn't tell what was going on. But if you slow down, your Dragon Blades are going to be so much more effective. And there's a couple of things that I would say, why is it important to go slow? So, like I mentioned before, if you miss your dash, you basically just ended your blade. You can't do anything. So once you're Dragon Blading, you cannot mess up your dash. Because once you do, you're pretty much useless. So instead, what you should do is you should slash until you see that someone is actually 1 HP. And only once they're actually 1 HP and you're sure that you're going to dash through and kill them, that is when you use your dash. So I'll show this on Ana. So I'm slashing Ana, I see that Ana's 1 HP, now I can dash. Maybe if you're in a 1v1, you can do this. But it's almost just as fast to do this, and you take out the chance of messing everything up. There will be moments where you know that, oh, this person can't move, I can do this. But really, you need to take your time and go slow and save your dash during your ultimate. I mean, I would almost rather see a new Genji player do 3 slashes to get a kill than to finish it off with a dash. Just because it's going to be really hard to tell sometimes when someone's actually killable, because there's, burst healing, they have movement cooldowns. If you get booped around, it's just going to be a bad time. So try your best to take your time. 6 seconds is pretty long in terms of how long an interaction lasts in this game, where you're in someone's face and you're either dead or they're dead in roughly 2 seconds. So you have plenty of time. And the other thing is, never blade without having your deflect up. You have to have deflect when you're blading. When you press Q, everyone in the entire lobby, all 10 players in the lobby are looking at you, even yourself. Everyone's looking at you. This Ana's going to throw nade and anti. Lifeweaver's going to grip your target away. Soldier 76 is going to shoot you. I mean, everyone's going to throw every single cooldown they have at you because no one likes getting a 5-man bladed. So this is where deflect becomes the most amazing ability in the game. Is you press Q, you have 5 people looking at you. You press this, you will shoot 500 damage back at the opponent because everyone will shoot you. This Ana is going to use her sleep. I mean, this is almost a 100% guarantee. If you don't know the Ana's used their sleep yet, you drop on them with Q, you press E, she is going to shoot your deflect almost every single time. And you can almost guarantee that. Just think about how many times you've pressed blade and all of a sudden you're slept. I mean, Ana cannot wait to sleep the Genji. So that's really important. So, close the distance as much as you can with deflect, and then once you're there, now you can move side to side and double jump and mix in your dash into your movement. But if you save your deflect, if you actually use your deflect during Dragon Blade, you will save your life, you will get kills, you will deflect so many cooldowns. I mean, everyone wants to shoot you when you're pressing Dragon Blade, so do your best to try to deflect. That's something that I didn't do for a long time, because it's like, well, if you're deflecting, don't you want to be slashing your Dragon Blade? I love doing this. If you deflect, you can't do anything. You can always dash out of it. You can cancel your deflect if you want. But what it'll do is it'll let you get kills. It'll let you close the distance. It'll basically be worth it. And I only notice this because I see top 500 Genji players do this. Necros does this. Shatter2k does this. Anyone who you watch who's good at Genji, when they dash up and do this, they'll fall with deflect. Just look for it. You'll see it. And it's extremely effective because everyone wants to shoot you when you're pressing Dragon Blade. So, those are the two things that I really want to talk about with Blade. First of all, take your time, slow down, save your dash for when you're sure you're going to get a kill. Or if you have to chase, Moira fade. And second is save your deflect. Use deflect while you're Dragon Blading. Pretend you're, just normal Genji. Deflect when you normally would anyway. Your deflect does not go away when you're blading, and it's usually more effective because everyone wants to shoot you. Okay, so we talked about engage timing. Not timing. We talked about using your cooldowns to disengage, and we talked about some fundamental things with Dragon Blade. So, the last thing I want to talk about is off-angling and mobility with Genji. So, one of the things that I struggled with for a long time with this game is McCree can just stand here and from a very safe distance instantly obliterate this bot. And this dude's, everyone's been two-tapped by a McCree before. This is crazy that you can do this from this range. And, that bot, if that bot is Reaper, let's just say it's, who is a character who only does stuff up close? Let's say it's Mei. That Mei, her left click, that freeze thing. So you can just do this, and now you don't have to worry about that. And that's like pretty safe and relatively normal to do in game. But Genji is a shotgun character. You have to close the distance. You have to be up close. So why play Genji? Actually, wait, no, I'm talking about the wrong thing. Okay. So Genji has this shuriken poke, and it is not nearly as good as McCree. Just doing damage from the far, because it's projectile, it's unreliable, you can't guarantee that you'll hit your target. It's hard to hit. But what Genji has that McCree doesn't have, so even though McCree can stand next to her tank, is Genji has double jump and wall climb. So whereas McCree, maybe I'll go, need to find a good wall to show what I'm talking about. Okay. So while as McCree, you'd have to peek like this. You're grounded. What Genji can do is you can actually wall climb and shoot your shurikens and double jump and sort of hover right there, and you're hard to hit, and you're up high and you're above the rest of your team. So if I'm the enemy shooting, and if the tank is standing right there and the McCree pokes out, well, I'm already shooting at McCree. But Genji can go up here and fire from up here, and it's an unexpected angle. If they want to shoot at you, they can't be shooting at your tank. So if they miss you, they just miss. It's not like they're going to hit anyone else. So what you want to do during that poking phase is leverage this character's strength, which is their mobility, and then also there's no damage fall off either. So you can actually just shoot your shurikens from pretty far away. But the key thing here is you just need to create a distraction. This is not doing most of your damage. This is just creating a distraction for the enemy team. They want to shoot at the Genji. Everyone wants to kill Genji. All my Genji players out there, everyone wants to get. People hate playing against this character. They will use every cooldown. They'll call you trap. Everyone just wants to, kill the Genji, because this character is annoying. I mean, if you ever shoot yourself with deflect, you'll regret it. And this character, jumps around, super mobile, gets away, deflect is up all the time. You're definitely an annoying character. I mean, you're not as bad as Sombra or maybe max power Tracer, but Genji is very, very frustrating to fight. And so you want to lean into that. You want to create more frustrations for the enemy. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about. So these angles. So always leverage your upward mobility, because they're not going to be pre-aiming all the way up here. They're going to be pre-aiming a head level down here where your tank and your supports are going to peel. So you can go up there and shoot. You can switch it up and go even higher on the next one. You can go from up here. There's going to be all sorts of high grounds on all sorts of points. And as much as you can, you want to take advantage of the fact that Genji can up there. Because if you're just going to stand behind your tank and shoot down main with your shurikens, you might as well just play Ashe, or you might as well just play Widow. So you have to leverage the character's strength to create a distraction. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's a lot like Pharah. So Pharah's super annoying to deal with, because they're flying up here, they're nowhere near anyone else that you're shooting at, and they just do 1,000,000 damage. You can, poke out and hide behind a corner. So you can actually do a version of this on Genji, and it creates a very effective distraction. It draws bullet fire away. It gives your tank more room to push up. Your other DPS has one less person shooting at them. So the key thing there is take advantage of your mobility to engage from angles that other characters can't. And it will help alleviate pressure off your team, so your team will have a much easier time winning their engagements. Your tank will live a few seconds longer if the Ashe isn't shooting at the tank or the McCree looks away. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. I definitely rambled on for a long time, but I really just wanted to talk about these core Genji concepts that I wish someone had told me, and they're like pretty fundamental about how you approach and play the character. And I believe that doing these things will cause you to, on average, win more games, and help you play this character to the best strength, help you have more fun, help you die in mysterious ways less often. Because as fun as this character is, it can also be really frustrating. And so it really helps to, when you play this character correctly, it makes it more fun. So that's all I've got for today. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in, and maybe I'll have another video some other time. So, rant over. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about with an engage angle. And so now, I went in with both dash and deflect saved. I had access to both of them, and you can see how both of those cooldowns let me win that engagement. So that was an absolutely perfect example of what I was talking about, and that let me carry that fight. That was another instance where I used right-click, dash instead of right-click, dash, right-click. I waited till I was sure it was going to get the kill, rather than blowing my dash without being sure that I was going to be able to get the kill and get out. I also wanted to show you guys what it looks like to use your deflect during Blade. So after I get the Widow, I dash up to the Ana. I know she's going to sleep me, so I just pop deflect in her face. So that's just kind of what it looks like.